Hello and welcome to Crimson Moon. We're going to continue reading Decoration Disorder Disconnection. We're on the middle of a new chapter, seeing seeing the past of our protagonist when he was still on the hospital containment, but from another person's perspective. And right now they were about to be interrogated on the hospital. In a higher chair sits a woman in a business suit. Toma Mato. Ishizue-san calls her Mato-san, sometimes Tomato-san, but to me it's just an unattractive woman in her 30s. I mean, I don't think she looks bad at all, but okay. Tomamato is imposing, like a devil looking down on a sinner in hell. Normally, this room will be making people think they become smaller, but that woman instead made the size of the room pressuring. Here, that Mato-san feels like three of these hospitals, but who will have thought it's true? I'm not sure what that was saying. It's hard with you, both your sister and brother. Did you hear the news about your parents? Yesterday they gave a conclusive verdict. The case will be viewed from a point where Hisaori Koji and Hisaori Kayo's deaths were an accident. Rejoice, it means you are free now, so if you want to, I can give a permit for your discharge by symptomatic improvements. Mm. I'm at a loss of words from the sudden turn of events. She amazed me. Amazed being a perfect word for this case. Just a minute, what do you mean by that? Symptomatic improvements? My illness is going to be cured? Dumbass, how can it be cured? I'm talking about your mental state. Question is, do you regret almost killing a human? Terrifying. Not the content of her words, her glare is terrifying. The eyes of Tomamato, in her best favored, doesn't see a human in me. Her carelessness comes from the fact that if I move even a finger, a trigger is going to come off in my chair, but she still doesn't see me even in point blank range. Being garbage or dirt are looked upon better than that. So if the psychiatrist says that everything's okay, I'll have ambulatory treatment? Yeah, it's going so well you get nauseous, right? We're not doing charity here. We can waste our money on civilians in vain. And we get spare, we want to fill our wallets, Hisaori. Do you know how much every one of you corpses cost us to contain? Keeping a whole seaward of patients without a hope for a cure just doesn't make sense to me. To contain and to keep alive are synonymous. I don't want to talk with her a second longer, but if Ishizue-san is doing it, I can't back off either. Am I guaranteed a normal life after discharge? After all, I'm just used to giving an example of a career path for getting back into society. Wow, what an unpleasantly worldly wisdom. Just 2 years ago there were talks about human rights. You are right, this decision was made for the clinic, not for its patients. We had the health center here gathering possessed from all around the country, none discharged in 10 years. What a great image. Thoughtful consent. Did they select some patients that are harmless to let outside and choose me amongst them? 2 years ago there was a debate between protectors calling carriers victims and a group screaming murderers. Some were saying that protectors were backed up by some influential people, and this clinic just barely avoided dismounting. Some underground debates seem to continue even now. Well, that's just one of the reasons. Main reason is money. The budget wasn't made for us until this year. We don't have issues. We don't give much income, and consumption is high, and we want to get rid of some inadequate patients. Well, there's still some sense time and money are unlimited, but to be honest, we should save up where we can. She probably says what is meaningless to say to give us the reality of things. Don't even think that the clinic will never see you as a normal people. Even when you are outside, don't dare to think of yourself as adequate. I see. If you behave, you are chosen as a candidate for a discharge. Is that right? Yeah, we want to discharge at least 5, and in a year, if you keep pretending to be a good boy, I'll recommend you. Nice, isn't it? No need to resent us. Just don't screw up. Don't be like that. I really resent you, you know? Great, Kinui-san's efforts don't go to waste. Just one thing, Hisaori. Recently you got quite lively. You can see that clearly even through the monitors. Did you get a new toy? Her glare alone makes me want to vomit. If I really get out, first thing I need to do is kill this woman. Even I can understand that, and I'm bad with intuition stuff. She's the enemy that you kill before she kills you first. Oh, right. Is Shizue-san a candidate for discharge too? What? Sound of a pen being crushed ringed through the room, and I feel pressured to the floor by the hellish aura of Tomamato. Rumors are that Ishizue-san is called her favorite toy. Well, I won't say so, judging by her reaction. Tomamato tries to look gently now, but her face expression gives her away. These were the movements of tiny muscles that no one but me could see, but she was definitely compassionate. Tomamato doesn't want Ishizue-san to be discharged, not because it's dangerous, but because she's pitying him. Dr. Toma, what about me? Recommendation is not approval, after all. Thanks for selecting me as a candidate, but you don't want to let me out, do you? You are all right, you're stubborn. So to let you out is the easiest. You won't get into any dirt and you'll make it through anywhere. So much so that I want to make you my personal pony when this is all settles down. Tomamato maliciously curves her mouth and roughly glares at me. Horrifying. That just now was her true opinion. That woman won't say a lie even in front of a carrier. Compassion or favor won't waive her decision in the slightest. She's the embodiment of law that rises an iron hammer above us and waits for our first misstep to wear our excuses and drop it down. That's how Tomamato is. But nevertheless, the chat was so surprisingly pleasant. There's some questioning. It seems that Ishizue-san will get an admission for discharge in half a year's time, and for me, it's a year. Thanks to Fortune suddenly smiling at me. Yes, one more thing. There's a clinical request here. Someone from Ward D wants to meet you very much. They approved the meeting already. Come make a visit tomorrow morning. Here's a pen and paper. Want to borrow them to write your will? Of course, it's not a request, it's an order. I forgot that for the last couple of years. For a pleasant talk, they ask for a proper reward. in a convoy with the head physician alongside Dr. Dolittle and 3 watchers. I mean guards. I'm going to Ward D. I can refuse anyway. Also, that will be bonus points for me, and I'm a little curious myself. The one who wants to meet with me is that newcomer one that was brought here half a year ago. That's what Tomamato told me about. Without any particular interest, it seemed to be a question of life and death to the clinic. What happened after my talk with Mato-san? After I came back to my chamber, I was begged to go there for half a day by a head physician. I was amazed that we have one in the clinic, and my image of the clinic's world got completely overturned after I saw the staff. Normally ordering us around, obeying orders of their patients. Head physician was with me till we reached the waiting room in Ward D, after which he retreated to Ward C. Looks like Ward D is so alienated to people that Ward C feels like a safe zone in comparison. To start with, everything around us looks rough. The floor and walls are the same as those other wards have, but they look feeble, like they've been in ruins for the past 10 years. Well, let's go. There are other patients here, so be quiet. Look, even Dr. Dolittle is nervous. Guards sincerely hold their weapons in front of them. Submachine guns. Hilarious. Are we in front of a triumphal arch? Bang. It's like I'm taking a step into a building that is to be demolished a moment before it's brought down. I do a step forward and something crumbles somewhere in the building. Of course, it's an illusion. Construction of RD was the most costly. They hold patients in the latest stage of the syndrome here. They can't afford to make it weak. Narrow long passageways goes on and on. Each 6 meters it intersects with another one like that, and the site is the same everywhere. It looks like Ward D is a labyrinth made of intersections like that. Reminds me of the insides of a Rubik's Cube. Dimly lit with electric lights and in an ash-colored world. No windows, no doors, even chambers are unnoticeable. It was a primitive world made of ash walls, a strange world of an abstract painting, and as I walk here, I become a part of it. Dr. Dolittle turns for the 3rd time to the left now. I don't see the way back already for a while. Suddenly I lag behind Dolittle for about 1 second, and the Howard in front of me catches my eyes. Bang! The passageway was scarlet black. If you look at closer, it was a passageway made of various dead bodies. The cement part of it turned into a pipe of flesh. In it, there was mother with blood-soaked stomach and father with blood gushing from his neck. Even though I wasn't next to them back then, the image of a heartbroken Hisaori Shinja is going to reflect in tears. Hisaori-san, that's the wrong way. This way. Dolittle's voice distracted me before I stepped there. Bang. You shouldn't look into unnecessary passageways. We don't feel it, but sometimes it badly affects patients. I asked to clarify what does badly affect mean. For an example, in a chamber you were looking at just now, 2 patients went missing. There were patients who, like me, looked into different passageways. Then they walked into a chamber and went missing. Obviously, they were hidden by a Ward D patient. The question is, how and where did he hide them? He crushed their bodies to small size and hid them under his bed? Did he absorb them into his body? When doctors told him about questions, he gritted an answer. They are thrashing about in my head. Bang. I'm walking in a way not to lose sight of Doolittle. I am to meet a girl around 14 years old, brought here in pieces. No hands or legs, her torso means. Because of some mistake, she was still alive. Even A syndrome infected, even possessed, die properly when they are killed. She is going to be bound to bed for the rest of her life, or maybe she's only alive in a clinical sense, a brain floating in an aquarium or something like that. Bang. There are enough rumors like that in Ward D. There's a horror story about a pool filled with gods, and since it was a single patient from the start who was a general inconvenience still alive, it's impossible to clean there. The pool doors are securely locked, so it's unconfirmed. No one feels like making sure of it anyway. Bang. Doolittle opens a door. A narrow tunnel appears in front of us. Looks like that's the last station. About 10 meters inside it, there's another steel door. Soon as you enter, this door is going to be locked. We'll wait here, so don't worry and talk to your heart's content. Ah, right. Minute after this door gets closed, the inside door will open. Sickening. Maybe that's really a death sentence. I know the answer already, but I'll ask anyway. Can I borrow one of those from the guards for self-defense, you know? Don't exaggerate. It's not a wild beast there. By the way, they won't open fire either. That sort of stuff isn't even a threat to her. What works are the multi-layered steel walls. Bang. I regret my hastiness. Life and curiosity switched places for some reason. I walk forward through the passageway. Behind me, the door closes. Bang. In a minute, the front door opens. Bang. Huh? Feel like I was warped back in time, or like I'm now in an imaginary world after parting with life. The other side of the door was a gym, though still resembling ruins. From the 8-meter high ceiling in the very middle of the room that looked like a gym of an abandoned school, a human-sized doll is hanging down. Bang. Oh, she jumped, bound by a steel chain. Doll, like a pendulum, flew sideways and hit the cement wall. The pendulum, as expected, brings the doll back. It is caught by a human in the middle of a gym. Hop. The doll appears to be a sandbag, and it is patted by a gloved hand of incredibly resemblance to a flower. Oh, you are here already. he is our son. I'm sorry, can you please stand there for a bit? I'm almost finished with my daily norm. Bang. She does a wide step forward, swinging her right fist. The sandbag vertically, like a dolphin, flies up to the 8-meter ceiling. It's the same carrier that was brought here half a year ago without a hope for recovery. The 14-year-old girl, who looked at nothing else but 20, was Ishizue-san's blood-related sister. Are you sure your body is sturdy enough? She was able to diagnose the carrier with a single sentence. We got along right away. That comment was the same as my own impression from long ago. Me? The next day, after I've been shown symptoms, I was called by that woman. She shot me down, cut me down, chopped me down. She didn't want a lab sample. I think I will be dead gone by now. Her presence was strong. Overwhelmingly, the feeling of reality of what's happening. You think of our see patients as of ghosts or corpses, then she's literally a monster. Even for what these stretch, but realistically, she's like an imbalanced manga character. Later, Ishizue-san will say, if Mato-san is a hero, then that is a superhuman. Those are really fitting categories. Animedi will say she's not human anymore. With her own hands, Toma Mato brought this monster half to death. Well, I was a kid back then, but that's not an excuse. She came there. That was heaven's punishment for not giving a damn about reality. Taking her boxing gloves off, she makes an awkward smile to cover her embarrassment. Long silky black hair, antipode of Ishizue-san, incomparable beauty. I think that's what it's called. Next thing I knew, I was here, learning just a single lesson out of it after all. If you value your life and you are not me, don't deny her. How about you, Hisaori-san? Tell her the tale from 2 years ago. She wants to know it all, and I tell her everything from the start. The killed parents? No, no, not that. Now that everyone accepted it as an accident. That I watched my parents die and pushed an older sister named Hisaori Makina, trying to save them out of the flood. That's the story of Hisaori Shinja. My sister didn't die, but hurt her hand from the fall. Paid for her life with a dysfunctional hand. Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't work out as planned. Yeah, from long ago, nothing goes well. And when it all happened, everything was going to be slim, but after it's over, I'm back to the starting point. It's like the winning prize was bankruptcy, like the game that you play itself is made so that no one ends up well. Do you like to play musical chairs? I don't have interest in games like that. And in such a simple game as musical chairs, I never could win. I like watching it instead of playing. I don't want to sit on the chair, and I wasn't admiring those that conquered their seats. I was content with just sitting on the floor, watching winners and learning from them. Stupid. Bye-bye, Shinja. Things took a strange turn when... let me warn you, try not to find an ideal chair. What? Well, you're an observer, right? Someone's already sitting on a chair for Hisaori-san. There are no unoccupied chairs, and when you find an ideal chair, you won't be able to sit on it. Did you remove the one sitting there already, right? Watching and learning is good, but if you start dreaming about it, you'll turn into an ugly possess again. You're locked here because you can hold yourself together, she concluded. If you will want to sit on a chair, things will happen. That's why you should be more careful. I was scolded by a girl 5 years younger than me. Someone who's already sitting on it can't sit before getting rid of the real one. Her consent isn't needed because until now I didn't even want to sit on a single chair. Sure is a lot of talking about a chair. This chair. Our talk after that became completely like that of girls. We talked for almost an hour and we agreed to meet once a week. That's how I get up from the floor. Oh, by the way, how do you know about me when you are not living here? That, you're talking with my brother, right? I feel like you're a nice guy, and actually I have a small favor to ask of you. She sticks out her tongue. Collected like an adult woman, she gives me a smile of a naughty girl. Can you please somehow delay the discharge of my brother? Of course, I can do that kind of favor. Could give Ishizue-san some problems, and I wouldn't mind doing so for his sister. But because of the tricks needed for that, I will have to sacrifice myself, and that will delay my own discharge. I meant, no, that woman will surely exclude me from the candidates list forever. Tormented by the dilemma between helping Ishizue-san or his sister, I couldn't fulfill her wish until the very end. Well, whatever, I didn't need to sacrifice myself after all. Hi there, Ishizue-san. Shogi today? Solving a shogi, a tooth. Ishizu-san looked at me puzzled. He reacts just like when we first met. Are you okay? It's me, Hisaori. Hisaori. Ah, right. You fit Hisaori's image. Sorry for comparing it for too long. I only see you during the day after all, so what's up with that? Did you fall? Ah, that's after surgery. Everything was bad there for a while, so I just told them to amputate it. Ishizu-san nods and murmurs, "Is that so?" and writes it down to his notepad. Single-handed, but how agile. I came to say goodbye today. We won't see each other again ever. Intra-routine life of ours doesn't change. Days and months are passing by. We rejected the world, which is amazingly caring about us, and almost irresponsibly helped the outcast. Yeah, you are weird. It's taboo to talk to other patients here. Did it tell you that when carriers communicate, a devil gets attached to the one you talk to? You are one to talk, Ishizu-san. I'm not talking to those that seem unable to answer, and you don't know the limit to it. I wanted to ask this for a while. Why do you not feel danger? That's my disorder. Not that you are forgetting everything? I can fight that one, so whatever. And this one isn't that bad either. This one is that bad. What are those white gestures? Can sort of understand his sister's worries. You should instead tell me, what was up with you, Hisaori? Why did you talk to me all of a sudden? Though no one here has interest in anyone but himself. I guess so, but I only have interest in everyone but myself. Wow. Ishizu-san stopped his tooth. White-haired and single-handed. The guy watches me with his eyes without a trace of interest in that topic. And why is that? Maybe because I can be allowed to think about myself. I'm very temperamental, so to say. It's hard for me to keep my emotions under control. From the time I was a kid, I get mad, I get depressed, and I can't stop until the reason is gone. For example, if I read a sad story, it's getting into me, and I can get over it myself. The story doesn't solve by itself. So I'm depressed until I think of a construction for the plot. While I was a kid, it didn't bother me, but near the end of grade school, I had a personal crisis. Feelings were my greatest enemy, so I had to take the urgent measure of rejecting myself. Yeah, that's inconvenient. Is that temperamentally congenital? I think I had the roots for it, but it fully bloomed around 5th grade of grade school. I don't remember it clearly, but my sister said I saw a ghost and went loony. So we lived on a 3rd floor of a cooperative high-rise building. I was standing on a balcony, repeating, "Mom, Dad, cool. There's a human burning." Wow, what a story. Was a human burning? Still alive? Yeah, still alive. It looked like he's supposed to be like that. Black from the burns. He was crossing the yard diagonally. No, I can think of some real explanations why it did happen like that. But for me as a child, it was a ghost and nothing else. Ishizu-san frowned. Then his sister became my best friend. I had some regret left. He listened to this story not as a tale of sorts, but as to a witness story. He made a puzzled face because he was contemplating the kid that was treated like that. And there, the adagio. Just like on the day we met, lazy music sounds. It's time for me to go back, so it's time for farewells. Should we do a handshake in the end? I extend my right hand. No, sorry. My credo is no handshakes. Ishizu-san firmly rejects it. He denied the handshake itself, not the handshake with Hasaori Shinja. If that's so, there's nothing I can do. Everyone has something they don't like, and we can do a normal handshake after all. Without touching, we say goodbye in words alone. A new day. As this is the very last time Doolittle told me. His disease is that he has no memories of what happened during the day. Now some rhythms were solved. That's what his forgetfulness was about. The one I could find consistency in. Only now when we can see each other again, I realize that he was in this world not without a reason. Ishizue Arika is reborn every day. You round it up, he's a guy who lives only today. While being like that, he was still leading a human life. Human without definite present is living while looking forward to the future. Even when his sister appeared to be a biological monster, I think Ishizue Arika has a very high mental endurance. That ability is the one I don't have, even though I probably need it. Whatever enough of the clinic stories. I'm going to be discharged soon. When I'm finally discharged, these things first I'll do is to pay a visit to Ishizue-san. Fortunately, we are from the same prefecture. If we both live to that day, we'll meet again, soon. That is life. I may not be the one to talk, but that was the worst and the best return to society. There, you can leave today. Mato-san stated that and left, saying she's got something to do and that we'll meet soon. Well, wasn't that too easy? Thompson Travel was bound to pile up, but the clinic handled it all in the blink of an eye, like a deal in the shop. Don't you think it all happened too fast, Doctor? An hour before my discharge, I came to Dr. Doolittle's confessional to say my goodbyes and decide to be soggy for a while. Isn't that great? Thomas-san is courteous to you in a way. She's kind to those in a fragile position. That's such an obvious lie. I'm worried about you, Doc. You don't know women. If that was the kind of show to the weak, then Toma Mato failed to express it. Maybe she's possessed herself? Well, let's talk about Thomas-san some other time. Instead, let's go back to what you wanted advice with, since you came here. Bullseye. I've lived in this health center for so long that I became self-contained. I want to carelessly talk with people, but you see, I just can't integrate into society. It was your complaint when you just came here. It isn't funny. I'm still bad with it. Well, I'm going to go outside. Everyone's doing their best striving for glory, for success. I can understand that. It's enough for living a normal life. Here, if I just start striving for it myself, I'm going to integrate somehow, but I can't even pretend to. Sounds awfully girlish, doesn't it? Toma Mato's scolding didn't help, so I'm looking for home in some kind words now. That's a problem. You are going to have to pretend as so. After all, that is nothing else but a motive for a human to curb. Whether one's striving for glory, money, or power, one's doing it because he sincerely wants to be acknowledged by others. How successful am I compared to others? Or I want to show my value, get that? I know, but I can't think of it as important. Obviously, you don't even think that you have value. Looks like I failed at some point. Doolittle stings me today. Listen, one who hasn't loved without wanting nothing in return. Humans pressured by society has already lost value on themselves. In a way, he wasn't loved, so he didn't get a place in life. He can't even think that he has value. For all his life, he's looking down. That deficiency, that minus cannot be compensated, he continues. Humans himself can compensate that defect. The little stays silent for a while. There's only one solution. If you don't see it yourself, you have to get in touch with the one who acknowledges your value. You don't need self-confidence. You need someone that needs you. Search for it. With your life on the line. You should live for that. I don't know, Mr. Doolittle. That doesn't sound that healthy either. What a climax. I underestimate the good old Doolittle. I can't even blush before such dramaticism. The one who gave him the nickname of a literature hero was a genius. Well, it doesn't matter. I was a bit touched by Doolittle's words. I don't perceive them, but he's showing me the right direction. Clean and clear. So I have to search for my soulmate of a sort? Is there really such a convenient person out there? I can promise you that. Did you make any friends in the clinic? Yes, I answer. Doolittle cheerfully smiles. Then it's okay. You got plenty of chances. It's just that I made friends, but what's the point if I forget them? And I will forget them, most probably. Oh, they are calling for us. Up to the Wars A roof. If you want me to, I can keep you company until the helipad. Wouldn't it be heavy to carry all your stuff yourself? Okay, so this is Arika then. No, I'm not a child, and there's only one bag of it. But what's that, me, or did I just hear something cool, like helicopter? Thomas-san didn't tell you? You can only get to this clinic by air. The roof is like the main entrance. Got it. Guess you won't have any fugitives this way. And anyway, slowly though, but I'm getting it now. This is not a clinic. This is a natural purgatory. A syndrome infected can move to another prefecture. Dangerous ones are under strict national control, observation and guidance, so I was sent back to my old place right after discharge. Shikura town in C Prefecture. A helicopter first, then a car. 3 hours on the road. This summary, I thought I'd be blindfolded or something, but no. They just gave me a normal ride like I'm some juvenile delinquent on accounting. And I was quickly moved to my place and I just sat there for 3 hours. I was at my good old home. They felt the reality to those isolation was. Still feels real when you can get to the other world in a couple of hours. As your relatives refuse to accept you, the man with the short hedgehog-like style haircut sitting near me in a black suit and shades explained it in a blank tone. You are going to be to an establishment. We'll destroy your driving license, bring the registration and insurance papers to that instance tomorrow. The government was distributing residences to AIDS syndrome infected, to victims of those, something like municipal apartments. One old municipal dorm for victims and underpaid was refactory for our needs. Well, I'm saying our needs, but I was the only rehabilitated carrier there. Maybe some will come later, but for the main part, it still remained a place for the brotherhood of low pay. Flat rent is a 4-digit number, 10 times lower than usual. One that any landlady would be amazed with. For carriers lacking ability to get a job, a small bonus is given for living expenses. Another bonus is the hedgehog medical expert neighbor that does an investigation when something unpleasant happens. Well, I'll leave the next procedure to the manager. Once a day at 9 a.m. or at 6 p.m., call this number. Forgetting to mention the most important part. What happens if you don't call? Mr. Hedgehog left. And so I mumble, fix the bag in my hand and look at the crumbling building. Concrete and metal 6-story building. Windows pressed to the inside. By the look of it, there are 8 apartments on each floor. The entrance is narrow, desolate, and dirty. Air is incredibly musty. Only yakuza hang out in that sort of place. Not bad. Compared to that hospital, not inside look. Not the dirt matters at all. Yahoo! Congratulations! Goodbye, great clinic. A new life starts here in this moldering happy flophouse number 13 in Shikura town. Ah, a newcomer. Well, I won't say a thing even if you look like a devil, but no conflicts, alright? Here's your key. Lights and water will be on tomorrow. No complaining today. The beautiful new sheet of my life was ruined in just a few seconds. What an unfriendly old woman. Nevertheless, it's good. With such a negligent watch, with such a negligent supervisor, I just have to stay inside and she won't come to my apartment. That and humming a song from such good news while getting up to the 3rd floor. There were no numbers on the doors whatsoever, and the door told me about its 30 years old age with a screech. Oh, you are a newcomer. I was in a battle with the doorknob at the moment, which refused to turn, when some guy leisurely walked up to me. Amazingly cordial for such a place. He could live on a paradise island, wearing makeup, aged around 30. Dude, don't wear that Hawaiian shirt. It suits you too much. Wow, I finally have a neighbor. I'm Nijima. Nijima, what's your name? Hi, I'm Ishisue. Name's Arika. Written as Shosai. Oh, you have some stupidly childish name, boy. Ha 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 ha. Laughed at Nijima. Later we'll get to know how much more stupid is his own name, but that's a different story. Glad to make an acquaintance. If I need something, can I ask you? Okay, that was a Rick. Glad to make an acquaintance. If I need something, can I ask you? Sure. Ah, how great. The young people decorate the house. Talk Arika-chan, you're slightly not my type. That's great. Gay people in Hawaiian shirts are slightly not my type either. Now, Arika. 1 month passed so fast I didn't notice. I'm going for the casual shopping. Subis around the building, full freedom after a job search. I got so carried away with the preparations for my new life that I forgot what to do. I slightly regret relaxing too much. I just kept avoiding my old acquaintances, my old pathways, kept guarding myself. Forgot the most important part. Yeah, I should come back home at least once. Ishizue's residence is a mansion on Ashikura Hill, 2nd block, separated from the opposite block by a station. It takes about an hour to get here on foot, 20 minutes on a bus, and less than 50 minutes on a car. Man, every Time Moon protagonist really lives on a mansion. Town might seem like a narrow place, but it's pretty wide. You don't have interesting citizens from the other side of a station unless you are acquaintance. That's the that's the feature of a modern society. Of course, we live near a single shop. We only go to work, home and for food and for class, to a bar, a bookshop, and a mall. That's all. That's why I didn't have a reason to come back to the Ishizu residence. But I should at least do it once. Do not regret not going there later. Covered by the dark night, I'm walking to the Shikura Hill. Hill isn't just a name. A perpetually sleepy district is built here. Precisely at midnight, everyone's sleeping already. I'm walking under the street lights. Here's Kisaki, Ishimori, Yamanashi, Ishizue. Maybe everyone has insomnia or something, but the lights are on everywhere. Only Ishizue Mansion is drowned in darkness. Close. That will be obvious if you think about it, but since I came here, I don't feel like going back empty-handed, and no one's here anyway. I walk to the back of the mansion, move a hand to the kitchen window, and it opens instantly. Amazing luck. I didn't have to break windows and bother neighbors. Of course, I don't mind saying hi to the people that will come running. It's easy to imagine the reaction from seeing me. I'm not used to living with a single hand. I don't feel like adding stress to that. Well, hello, home sweet home. I'm coming inside the house, empty since that event happened. Wow, everything's clean. Wasn't there a sea of blood here? They restored it all and are waiting until everything settled down. Then my room's going to be cleaned too. I walk up to the second floor. The door leading to my room is brand new. Well, yeah, I hear Matos-san destroyed it completely with a shotgun. Almost untouched inside. Looking at the space that was Ishizue Arika's room some time ago. Fell on the bed and now looked up to the ceiling. Oh, I see. Bullet holes. Construction workers don't slack. You can sell it expensively like that. Spend about 3 hours at home, satisfying my nostalgia. If you look around the house, you can see how it was used before. I'm leaving behind this shortly. And mine, a now newly decorated home. I have a new life too, and this house can't be untouched for long. Whatever, doesn't concern me anyway. Two months passed and I became used to my new life. Grew attached to my 2DK apartment already and grasped the way of living in this town. Not too comfortable, but enough for living normally. There's just one problem left. While in isolation, Ishizue Arika was, out of his own volition, trying out arm prostheses, and not a single one fit, leaving him single-handed. And since he's discharged now, the problem will probably be a bother to him. Maybe it's pointless, but I can't just ignore that. For starters, I paid a visit to a neighboring medical doctor and told him my requirements for a prosthesis, and now I'm going home. When suddenly, in the rusty mailbox, I spot a suspicious mail. No sender, nothing. Big envelope, tightly sealed, and looks quite expensive. The one they sent cashed in. Puzzled, I came back to my room, lie on the bed, and opened the envelope. An unhealthy amount of a billion yen notes appears. A feeling of weirdness gets stronger than that of happiness. Try not to think about anything. I count the notes. 80 of them, more than my yearly salary. Throwing them out is too hasty. I borrowed some money from Nijima-chan. Oh grief, I had no money after discharge, of course. The tragedy where poverty is born. How sometimes you have to bear the obvious root of evil. But giving it to the police is a problem too. I can leave that sort of thing in my memory, but not in notes. My life will be ruined. I guess I can just watch the turns of events for about half a month now. That's how it ended. Somehow it all was obviously a mistake. I'll just take care of the money for now. If an owner is found, I'll just return them. About a year after you pick up something, it becomes yours anyway. Or was it a year and not the whole amount? Well, that was a trifle matter. Because on the next month, this time, something pushed right into the mailbox. Same envelope appeared before me. Arika-chan, are you involved with some bad company? No, good morning. Gloom from the very morning. Knocking at my door like hitting a sandbox. Nijima-chan. Right after seeing me gave me this phrase as if to scold me for my sleepy look. With all those mysterious envelopes, it's me who wants to ask these questions. You have some business with me, Nijima-chan? I was going to have breakfast. Oh, well, just in time. Great. Arika-chan, it will be fun for breakfast. I don't get it. Just say what you have to say and leave, Nijima-chan. Yeah, Arika-chan, you're looking for a hand prosthesis, right? You have a guest that wants to talk to you about that. Huh? Patiently scratching the back of my head, coming to these slums just for that. Does that trader really have nothing to do? I don't like this. Is he waiting in the lobby? Nope, in Marion, at the opposite side of the street. Oh, you are barely making it for breakfast. Sure, normally it will be fine, but I guess I don't mind eating breakfast in Marion. For free to top it off. And quickly dressing up, walking past the Guardian booths. Empty as usual and to the corridor. At the opposite side of the building 13, there's an unexpectedly stylish Cafe Marion. The drink is the average price there is as much as 800 yen. Welcome, I'm invited by a gallant cafe owner and I enter. I found the trader without trouble. There was only one new face here. Hello, I'm Ishizue. Are you selling the arm prostheses? Yes, my name is Yamada. Good morning, Ishizue-kun. Male, about 40 years old. Nothing distinctive, usual gentleman. I asked for a morning set and sit in front of him. So which clinic are you from? I ordered the prostheses about a month ago and they all shall come later. No, I'm not from a clinic. I'm coming here on a different matter. So to say I hear you're looking for a quality prosthesis? Well, of course, Nijima-san will act suspiciously. That gentleman is an over-the-top suspicious guy. I'm listening. Say it already. I'm ready to answer no, but that gentleman sure is going to pay for my already ordered morning set. His speech crossed the border of suspicious and became a little hilarious. Long story short, on Shikura's outskirts lives a kid, owner of a unique arm and leg prosthesis, and their artificial arm might fit Ishizue-san? That's it? I don't have anywhere to get money for that obviously expensive prosthesis, but that kid is looking for a sitter or a steward. That will be their steward, so I might get to wear it for free. Yeah, so how do you know that? I was helping the child until yesterday, though sadly I got my settlement, he said in a gloomy voice. You mean you were fired? I won't ask why, but why tell me? Normally you get mad if you're fired. Thing is that of course I could forget that all, but I still pity that child. Want to find a substitute to take my place. at least, or else I will be tormented by my consciousness. The gentleman explained the steward's work and salary. Well, let, let's leave aside the credibility. 200,000 per month for that sort of work is not all bad. After the fact, I won't meet any of my old acquaintances. It's just great. Still have a question. Why me? Strange to talk to someone like me, don't you think? That kid is just like you, possessed. Ah, that's how it is. Then it's reasonable to ask me, indeed. Who else would willingly look after a carrier? Aren't they a hell raiser, though? One didn't move a finger. I guarantee your safety. As soon as you see them, you'll understand it. I'm getting even more curious. Keep asking questions while finishing my morning set. And I even asked for another cup of tea. So I decided to take a look at the workplace. I don't really need the money, but finding both work and a prosthesis at the same time, I thought that was impossible. That kid lives in Shikura outskirts on a private land, obviously some ridiculously rich girl. Promise to visit her tomorrow and stand up. Thanks. Then I'll give you one more piece of advice from an experienced person. The gentleman smiles and put his hands together in a manner akin to a prayer. The kid loves people very much. He won't get mad at any mean things you tell him, at any attitude you give him. But remember, no matter how close you are, never tell him one thing. I get chills. This cautious everyday gentleman pleasantly moves a corner of his mouth. Never under no circumstances suggest the kid to go outside. Soon as you say something of the like, you'll irreversibly turn into his absolute, full-fledged enemy, smiling like a devil. Well, I think this is a good point to leave it at. We are obviously going to meet with Kaye again next time. Thank you very much for checking the video again. Please feel free to subscribe or leave a like if you would like. And that will be all for today in Crimson Moon.